remember, sir.
Hi, welcome to another episode of SEO is Dead and Other Lies. I'm Paul Warren.
I'm Ryan Klein.
And today we have a special guest, a special SEO guest of ours.
Andrew Hernandez.
Andrew, why don't you tell us a little about what you do right now?
Well, right now I do basically more digital marketing. Previously I was doing a lot of link building and SEO stuff that way.
So you say you have a background in SEO. It's what you knew for a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you listen to our last podcast, we discussed how you can take on clients and everything that you need to actually get a client, to pitch to them, and to service that client. So this is going to be sort of a continuation of what we talked about there, and it's once you get these clients, and let's say you still have a full-time job, how do you balance having multiple clients and a full-time SEO gig?
Cool. That's pretty much what we're going to go into starting right now. So like Paul said, you have your first client and it's going pretty well. You chat with them maybe via email once or twice a week, maybe a monthly phone call. Then you get another one. Now you got two of them. Then you have four, then five, and then you're getting to a crossroads where
all of a sudden you've lost your mind.
You're saying, oh man, I can't really do all this at once, especially a full-time job too. So we're going to discuss what it looks like when you're going to start maybe doing a little outsourcing, what you're going to outsource, how you're going to go about doing that, and pretty much what your options are.
Yeah, and so this is a real true life podcast right here. We're not bullshitting. This is actually Ryan has gone through this entire process where he was working a full-time job and then got to the point where he's like, I can't take any more clients and keep this job. So he sort of had to make that decision what he was going to do. I'm a little bit in that situation. I've had multiple clients for a couple of years now. I've always maintained a full-time job, but I'm sort of looking at that direction of how do I get to the point where I don't need to take a full-time gig anymore and just add more and more clients to it. And that's why we have you here, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I want that problem, honestly, but I'm looking to definitely take some of that burden off of someone else if they have too much on their plate.
Yeah. One thing as someone who does SEO just by yourself and you have clients by yourself, you never seem to have a problem of finding clients. I mean, there might not be the client that you really want, but just whenever you can do anything, that's everyone has a business idea, and you always have someone come to you. Oh, you know how to do SEO? Oh, my cousin has this idea, and it's really cool. And you're like, oh shit, now I'm stuck with this client. I don't really know how to service it. I don't know how to deal with this, but I have just one extra one, and so it can be kind of a pain in the butt. But in this situation, we're looking at getting some clients that are in a particular niche from Ryan here.
Yeah.
And so we're going to try and build out just a specific pipeline just to serve this one type of client.
Sure. And if you listened to our last podcast last week, you're going to know that this niche is pretty much fitness and wellness. Pretty much we're in a situation where, just to recap or preface from the last one, my agency is kind of starting to have a threshold with the kind of clients we can take on. So fitness is a pretty unique industry where you have personal trainers and instructors and kind of niche fitness that they don't really have the biggest budget in the world. So they're looking to spend for what for us would be on the lower end. We wouldn't be able to take them on. So the process now is these are going to go to Paul. Paul's going to close them, and then he's going to start working on these accounts. But he is set up in a very unique situation that he is yet to take advantage of. We will very shortly, when we're done with this podcast, where we're getting enough of these leads where they could really be flipped and turn clients, and it could happen.
Yeah, hopefully the next podcast we'll be talking about depositing money from these clients. In my account.
How to spend the money that you get from these clients. But what I was going to say real quick is we are getting about almost one of these leads a day, so it could easily only take a couple of weeks before you have this unique situation.
So I have a question. So how do someone comes to you, say, hey, can you market my CrossFit gym or whatever it is, and you literally can't take it on? How do you let them know, hey, I'm going to pass you on to someone else, or do you kind of accept it and then on the back end you're passing it off?
No, I don't want to give people the false impression that we're going to be doing it. Yeah. This isn't a white labeling operation. We're not signing them up under the front of market my market.
Your business and then completely outsourcing all of it to someone else.
All I'm doing is saying, hey, we're not the perfect fit for what you're looking for because you have this budget. Mm-hmm. But Paul is freaking awesome, and he doesn't. Actually, this whole process is very straightforward. We're just saying, we have a lot of overhead, and therefore our prices are more. you're going to work Paul. He has a lot less overhead. He's going to be charged less, but he's going to do a great job. That's pretty much how it's going to go down.
And really, the only way that this can work is if we keep the cost of running this business to a certain price point. So that's sort of why Ryan can't handle these clients as it is, because he would just lose money handling them compared to like what he would have to do for like the other clients that bring in a lot more money.
Yeah, because we have champagne lunches and those add up, and company retreats. And
kombucha is a strong addiction that's very expensive, so you got to pay for that somehow.
It's actually more expensive to do it yourself. Anyway, so let's talk about the hypothetical, which is actually going to happen. Okay, so everything's going well. You've refined your pitch. You're passing along. We've tweaked our process, and now you have 5 clients. And now you're at the point where it's hard to do everything at the same time. What would be the first thing that you would have in mind?
So I know for me, there's a number of clients that when I get to, it just becomes extremely hard for me to give them the amount of service that they need to be comfortable, and they can even be kind of low requirement clients in general. Like they're not a particularly needy client, but for me it's like 10. So it's like I can really, with a main like full-time job, and then take on 10 clients and like do all that stuff.
You can take 10?
I've had 10 before.
That's hard.
It's very hard. Yeah,
Oh.
it's like so, but that's like stretching it and like having really good relationships with those clients. I mean, Johan,
scope of work too,
I like never really send him reports at this point, and he's been my client for like 5 years. But you want to just send like bi-weekly or monthly reports to these people, and you want to, obviously get results. So I've never really been worried about getting the results. Like for me, like that's what I like doing, right? Is like I can, figure out like the keywords they need, like make sure like the on-site SEO is like taken care of, and like all the technical stuff. That's what I like doing anyways. What I don't like doing is like putting together reports or like sending it back and being like the front person to that client and like communicating with them all the time. Great with selling like the services to them. Mm-hmm. Don't want to be like the go-to like in between person for that kind of thing.
So essentially the account management.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of account management. I've never been it's just not something like I'm good at, and it's like fighting upstream for me.
It's interesting is account manager is technically the last role we filled at Market by Market. So the way that we hired content was the first person we ever hired was a content writer. And then it was like web dev / SEO, and then it was like sales, and then the last person was an account manager. So we actually didn't have an account manager up until a year ago, and we already had more than 30 clients or so.
Do you think that's how you would do it again if you could do it over?
No.
Would you hire an account? Well, obviously you have to have an SEO.
I would have like an SEO / account manager.
Like you're not doing, if you have your AC at all and you know what you're doing from a technical standpoint, which you obviously know how to do SEO, you're doing sales anyways. So like how much of the sales did you do when you were starting out with the agency? Probably like a ton of it, right?
I mean, it scales depending on what's coming in, I guess. Because now like the only people that I talk to as far as sales are inbound and referrals. Like I don't do cold calling. I don't do outreach.
But that's now. But
back then I didn't do cold calling.
So you were just even if you never did cold calling, right? Mm-hmm. You were the person contacting the lead, and you were the person selling them on your service.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, no one else is gonna do it.
Yeah, so you kind of have to there has to be a component whenever you're doing this that's like you're gonna have to do sales.
Yeah, you should always sell.
Yeah, you're gonna have to sell your product.
There's multiple reasons why you do sales too. Yeah. So you're like the representative, you're selling like yourself kind of deal,
Yeah. So where in that order of, I think you mentioned content person, link builder, you said just an SEO, a couple other positions. Where would you then hire now if you do over again an account manager?
Oh, like at what phase?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I try to do it like a little bit more hybrid. So I'd find something that was like, I mean, it's tough because you gotta. When you're starting off, it's really hard to hire people that are like really like experienced already.
I think you're trying to find a unicorn, like someone that can do.
No, you only need to do 2, not like 5 things. No, I wouldn't expect to be like, man, I really want to find someone that like freaking is awesome at WordPress and is outgoing and can do account management. Like you want them to just at least fill maybe 2 roles. That's probably what you.
Yeah, and that's also the scope of like what you do too is a lot broader than what we're gonna do. Because you're doing web design and everything on top of that. We're just providing SEO and Facebook advertising and things like that. Like we expect them to already have a website when they come to us. If they don't, I mean, they're probably going to be your client. But
for the website,
anyways,
more
yeah.
than likely, yeah.
So yeah, like I'm not in the web design business, and I don't plan on doing that anytime soon or hiring like a creative person to design those. So that's not even like an issue for us, right? So it's just managing literally like the SEO campaigns, or if there's paid search or social campaigns.
So let's say let's go back to a hypothetical then.
Okay.
So let's say you get to that point and you're okay, I'm gonna work with Andrew. Come here, Andrew. We're gonna start doing work together. Ideally, what would you want this fella doing for you? And then after that set aside, what would you expect your relationship with Paul to be like and expect from him?
Oh man, this is good. You should be a mediator. It's fantastic.
Really? Wrong podcast. I got to do my mediation tip.
So I know that you ultimately probably want to play like your strengths if you can in the situation, right? And so like I just have a lot of experience doing making sure like the link building is taken care of, like the keywords, the actual like results for like what we're doing is like taken care of, for running like ad campaigns with like Facebook, paid search, all that stuff. What I don't want to like really have to do is like just communicate with that client or like contact potential clients. I mean, I can be on like a call and stuff, but like I want to just take care of the stuff that's actually like getting the results, and then providing a format to like report that. But like I don't want to have to like maintain any. That's the relationship.
So you want Andrew speaking to the clients. So you're gonna sell it, and you're gonna essentially hand it off to him already.
I want Andrew to do it. I'm saying what I want to do is these things is what like I'm more comfortable doing, and I want to spend my time doing
more technical stuff.
Yeah, like it's not that I'm uncomfortable talking to clients. I'm totally fine talking to clients if like I have to. It comes up, whatever. Yeah, I don't have any problem doing that. I'm saying for me, because of my skill set with just ranking websites, what I'm doing, like I'd rather spend my time doing something like that, or like creating like a larger like PBN site to like rank local clients and stuff. And like setting everything up.
You're gonna have to bleep that out.
Yeah, if you're not doing that for certain niches, then you're probably not in business. So you should just not worry about that.
Bleep.
It's not a bad word. It's not a bad word. All right. Everyone knows it exists now.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'd say like 10% SEOs know what it is.
Well, so yeah, so for me, like doing the technical stuff, like I can crank that stuff out in like a short amount of time and like service a bunch of clients. But like like really service them, they're real happy. So for me, like that's like where I'm in my zone. Like I can do all that work and get it done like really, really quickly and service like all those clients. It's just like the follow up and making sure like reports and like all that other stuff and like billing and like invoices, like all that stuff. It's like swimming upstream for me. It's like, oh man, I got to do this instead of like I want to do it. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So now you got to do the flip side.
Yeah.
Well, did you even answer the question?
I did.
Did you say what is Andrew going to be doing?
I would want Andrew to do that, but if Andrew doesn't want to do that, we can split those responsibilities. So we're just discussing.
Andrew wants to do it.
Do that portion of it.
Well, I will say this. I'm completely comfortable doing any part of it. I think that.
What would you rather do?
That's a good question.
That is a very good question. You know what?
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Tell me about your dreams.
That's definitely an astronaut, but I don't think that's on the table here. Absolutely. Like I could do the account management. I can do, the following ups and the billing and all that stuff. I think my end goal or big picture thing is, I just don't want to get. I wouldn't want to get cornered into that. So definitely some sort of like sharing of responsibilities would be ideal, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think whenever, just like now with the clients I have, there's a sense that you're always on call because you kind of always are on call. Yeah. So it's sort of like first man up to respond to that situation. So if you get an email from a client and it's like 12:30. The expectation shouldn't be, someone else will take care of this in the morning. If you're there, you're awake, you see it, you can take care of it then. And that's just a good, that's just running a good agency and a good client experience. So I don't have any expectation of like, and you're just going to do all this all the time. It's like none of my business because this is both of our business. when we're doing this, right? So, but I just think probably given our skill set, because I don't know how strong you are in like actually like doing like SEO for clients,
right?
Because I've done it for so long, like I just know it's what I'm strong at. So
absolutely, yeah. So I'm totally down with going with the flow. If someone feels strongly one way, I just want to say is that, like, I think that it's not even just like SEO. I think it's just like the way it's going now, like just in general with jobs and technology. I like to be versatile. Like I like I don't like cornering myself. I don't like. I mean, specialization is very good for certain industries. I think SEO is one of those where like the more you know, the better. So
yeah, and there's I want to point out too. I mean, there's plenty of areas that I'm not an expert in at all. Like I'm not a PPC like expert. I know enough to get by, but like you probably wouldn't hire me to like really run your campaign at like a larger company just because like I don't have the experience level of like.
You can wing it.
I mean, I could wing it.
You probably do better than most people.
I've been winging SEO for like 10 years, right? So it's working out.
But then you got it.
Yeah, then I got it.
Well, that's how you got to do it.
After 9 years, I got it. But in like Facebook advertising, I've done it to some degree for like full-time jobs, but I wouldn't feel comfortable just opening a Facebook advertising agency and like that was what we specialized in, and I'm gonna get you like baller results and like crush it because I just don't have the level of confidence in like my ability to do that yet. So like even amongst those things that we could offer, like we would want to find other people to potentially like outsource those things to, and just manage that.
Well, what's going to be good about this, I guess, venture is that the scope that you're going to be able to provide to these fitness instructors is going to be like very clearly established, and it's going to be within like packages.
Right.
So I don't know if you all worked on packages yet, but it's going to be like, we're going to do, SEO, and its end goal is maps and organic listings, and I'm going to do that by doing like this, and this. It's going to be very, very clear. And then like you're going to do, I think, some social or offer some social.
So we talked about this in the last podcast too. So these particular clients love packages, right? They love blogs to be included in that. They love social posts to be like promoted. They probably don't even really know about like Facebook advertising as far as like Facebook lead ads.
They may have had a failed campaign in the past.
They might know about like doing promoted posts. They may have done that themselves, but they probably haven't like actually created a Facebook advertising account, right?
Yep.
They don't know how to like judge conversions or like play around with any of that kind of stuff. So we sort of have to offer them a package of things, and we want them to pick the highest package because we want money from that. But also it's probably a better option for them because it's going to maximize their opportunity to get sales and new people coming in the door. But yeah, so that is exactly what I had in mind to do. So we sort of like create this package that's specific to like their business, and then we kind of just pitch all that to them and then sign them up for it.
Well, I mean, the good thing about knowing the packages is you know exactly what you're going to have to outsource or delegate. So if you're like, I know it's only going to be content, social, some paid social, and some strategy calls with them and reporting, then you're going to know like those are the things that Andrew will do X, Y, and Z. I'll hire maybe like one person off of Upwork for like this one thing, and that's it. That's the extent of what needs to be delegated.
The only thing that you can't outsource is the person that's the face to that client, like the actual like account.
Yes, you can.
You can. I mean, you can.
I would never do it.
You
like
can do that.
You could do like a virtual receptionist, and they're like, who are you?
I don't know if I would.
Where are you?
In this situation, the only thing that we're not
you sound like
potentially going to be outsourcing is that, right?
No, I would never. I've never done it. I've never really heard of anyone doing it, and I would
and they're also signing up with you
weird
because they're trusting you. Like there's a trust level, and like they bought into like what you're selling.
I mean, half the stuff is that they're buying you. If they like you and you sound confident, so you can't say you're not confident about stuff. But
yeah,
I could.
I would be confident.
Yeah.
Selling them on the idea. Huh?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be confident personally doing it.
But yeah, that's like the thing a little bit with fitness is I think that I work with all lawyers, and like lawyers tend to understand more. So like when I talk to a lawyer and I say I'm going to be the lead on the account, but I'm going to have other people assisting me on the accounts, aka my account manager. And then my account manager, yes, ends up being not necessarily the only, by no means the only point of contact, but like the semi-preferred point of contact thereafter. So the lawyer never feels like they'll never talk to me ever again. I never give the impression like you can always call me, email, like I'll respond to you, but it's kind of like understood that
there's a chain of command.
They get it.
This is the person that'll probably respond the fastest.
Yeah,
and then
but they get it because they have legal assistants. And
yeah, they do the exact same thing.
So they're in the same situation. They're like, I'm this guy and I'm my account manager. You're going to talk to you, and then you're the lawyer, and then you have your office manager, your legal assistant, and they might be the point of contact for each other. But like the lawyer, they understand it.
Yeah.
Fitness instructor doesn't have anyone below.
It's usually a one-man show.
They don't have anyone behind.
Yeah.
So they're going to want to talk to you.
One or two people.
They're going to want to probably talk to you.
Mm-hmm. And this is also probably going to be a niche of client where you're going to have to really explain a lot of stuff. So we're going to need like a really good guided onboarding process of how everything is going to work.
Dude, setting expectations is like, it's so freaking important for fitness, because if you don't like set expectations and tell them like kind of how it's going to go down, like a week will go by and they'll say, I don't have any leads, I'm concerned about our account.
Yeah.
Like that's what happens.
So let's go a little bit back to talking about outsourcing things, because that's a little more on topic of the podcast too. So Andrew, I don't know your experiences with outsourcing parts of your job. I don't know if you've done
the actual job itself.
Not maybe that, just other parts of it.
I'll tell you what, I've had a few interns.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, you could get an intern pretty easily for your gig.
I wouldn't feel comfortable yet doing that. Maybe at some point. Maybe if we get like 15, we're at 15 clients or something like that.
To get a PO box, have them work by the PO box.
just have them work digitally,
of course, that makes more sense.
But I have a lot of experience outsourcing certain aspects of my job that are very like monotonous and boring. So whenever I have like a local client, I don't particularly want to build citations ever. So I will outsource that to just someone that I find through. There's like websites like Conquer.io.
Conquer is cool.
Is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
You can always find stuff on Black Hat World. You can, just depending on the type of thing.
Give the folks some white hat resources. Some people are scared. They're scared. People get scared when you say Black Hat.
Well, Black Hat World has plenty of. I don't know if they have a lot of white hat resources on there at all.
They
a little bit.
Well, Black Hat is like. We don't want to get sidetracked. This is a side note, but Black Hat doesn't mean it's necessarily Black Hat. It's typically just thinking outside the box and just really trying to push crap as far as it can go.
Yeah, there's plenty of normal services, content writers on there that write good quality content. That if you're not like a writer, I'm not a writer. I personally never want to write articles for any blog or any website, so I outsource that.
Well, that's a good point. We should have mentioned that. Basically, if you're going to be working on these accounts, you're never ever going to write a single blog or article or web page unless you just genuinely freaking love writing.
In which case you should be a writer.
And then you should just be a writer.
Be doing this job.
Yeah.
So for writing, I always use Upwork. It's probably the best website to find quality writers for less. And you can really set the terms of like what you're looking for from an article and how much it's going to cost.
It's great.
Yeah, I mean,
they're used to working with you.
Everything that I had written at my current job, I found a really good writer, and he's in South Africa, and he writes baller articles that are like 1,000 words for like $10 an article.
No way.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
He does a really great job at it. It's in the financial niche, and he does what that niche is.
That's crazy.
It's really, really good deal.
I got hard facts with how much you should pay per word.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 10 cents is extremely cheap. So let me think off the top of my head. So if you want a crappy article, for God knows what reason, you'll pay between 7 and 12 cents a word. I think that you're going to start approaching pretty quality work at maybe about 18, 20 cents. And then if you're going to get into like some pretty freaking rad articles, it's probably going to be 30 or 50 cents.
I would totally agree with that.
That's about it.
I lucked out with this particular person.
10 cents is pretty unheard of.
Yeah, he makes a good living off of doing that, and he also really likes writing. So it's essentially the only person I use at this point at my current job, which I won't be at very much longer.
Oh, nice.
So
congratulations.
Breaking news.
So breaking news from a month ago.
It's like what. But I know everyone's been enjoying this podcast, and Paul sounds like he's going to talk about he's off the market.
Off the market.
He
Yes.
already is off the market. So by the time you're hearing this, he may already start his other job.
Probably not. That's going to be like 2 weeks.
These people don't know when we're recording this.
In between then.
Right now, this is June 27th, 2015 right now.
All right. So, yeah. So there's a lot of really great resources out there to outsource particular things if you kind of want to run that agency model and you don't want to hire someone to do that thing full time. And honestly, when you're starting out, you really can't afford to do that for like a lot of different reasons.
There's so many reasons it's so hard. Unless you want to try to hire someone that's an independent contractor and then force them to go into an office, like I did with my first employee.
Oh, tell us about this, Ryan.
No, that's it. No,
that sounded like a great story.
No, you were going to say something
about this.
No. Well, the first person I ever hired was a girl named Lorraine.
Lorraine?
Crap.
How old was Lorraine?
No, Lorraine, sorry.
Lorraine.
My bad. If you're hearing this, Lorraine, sorry about that.
It seemed like she was very important to you.
So basically, I don't really know why we decided to do it. So like Chase and I were working separate jobs. I was working in a law office. He was actually working from home. And when I got off the law office, we wanted like a meetup point, like kind of like on the way back home for me and somewhere close to him to like meet up after hours, like work on stuff. So we got an office at 2787 East Oakland Park Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, a couple miles from the beach. Really old building. We got an office that was about the size of my kitchen. It was probably like 12 by 12, perfect like small square. Threw a couple IKEA tables in it, and we're like, well, let's hire someone. And she came in because historically when I first started, I'm not a content is king kind of person. I know you're not a content is king kind of person. Content is important, but it's not the most important thing in the world. But I still wanted to make sure we started on the trajectory of having in-house content. I knew I always wanted to have in-house content. Not in the beginning, but as we grew, I always wanted to have it.
It's a good thing to offer, right?
It just is, and you have control over it, and you can groom someone, and eventually you're going to have, with good direction and good like leadership, well, not really leadership, but just like feedback and management, you'll have like an in-house writer that's pretty freaking good for like $10 or $12 an hour.
Yeah.
Which pays off more than outsourcing completely. So, after a while, you set benchmarks. You're like, oh, how long is it taking you to write a blog? Like 30 minutes? How about 25 minutes? How about 20 minutes? How about 18 minutes? And before you know it, like you're having people that are writing pretty good blogs in like 15 minutes, and they write four in an hour, and that means it's $3 a blog, which you can't get that if you outsource.
Mm-hmm. No, you definitely can't.
You can't. I mean, if you go way overseas, you can, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, you're really dealing with people who aren't native English speakers.
No.
When you're, like I can get a pretty big article written for like $4, but it's going to be garbage.
It's not a bad article.
And one of the bigger things you have to worry about when you're paying like at that price point is the amount of plagiarism that goes into it, because like a lot of people will literally just copy and paste.
I copy-scape absolutely everything.
Yeah, so that's another thing too, is if you outsource anything like that, you absolutely have to copy-scape, and you want to go through a third-party website or app or whatever, because that money that's going to be sent to those people is held in like escrow, and you can get it refunded back to you.
Yeah.
And if they do anything like that, and you get a ban. And I've had to do that several times with some pretty low quality writers. Again, they were writing for like PBN websites, so I didn't really care that much about the quality, but I didn't want to copy directly from Investopedia. So.
Side note: worst thing that I ever did when it came to content, used a spinner, and then had had a person edit the spinner to make sense, or edit the spun content.
You're talking about DNN links.
So you're better off just getting a writer.
If you can do the contract route like you did with this person, like if we hiring a full-time person is not a thing that we can do at this moment. Like
I would never recommend. But once you get to a point where you're like, okay, I need like 40 articles a month, like no, you probably need more than that.
I guess the point that you're saying is you got to slowly build to it, and then when you can't do it by these other channels anymore, and it's like becomes like cheaper really to like hire someone,
it does.
That's when you start looking at doing these other options.
But then that's when you take your first step towards actually having an agency, though.
Yeah.
And then that's scary. That's the A word.
Yeah, I know. It is definitely a scary thing. Like the prospect of servicing this many clients is terrifying to me in like a lot of ways because it's a lot of work.
You're just scared of commitment.
I'm not necessarily scared of. I mean, all right, Brian.
I'm just joking. Whatever.
Maybe you and my mom should just like have a really great conversation about how Paul's scared of commitment. Okay.
Oh, that just happened.
Fantastic. You know, we
well,
different podcasts.
She can be
about Paul's life.
The next guest.
No.
Okay, then no.
I'm scared of that too. I don't want to do it.
Let's call her right now.
Yeah, you know. Special guest.
Paul's mom. What are you doing? Okay, so where are we at? We're not talking about the path to an agency right now.
Well, yeah. What you brought up maybe just answered my question. I was going to ask, what would be the first thing you do outsource?
So it's like funny because like I feel like the first thing you outsource is content, but then but then it's also like the last thing that you outsource.
Well,
what does that mean?
The way that
right. I'm making it so dramatic.
The way that I would look at it, right,
it's the first and the last.
When you get a client, what's the very first thing that you do?
What's the first thing you do? I mean,
so they've signed on. They already signed a contract.
It's an onboarding.
What is so they're already signed a contract, right? So they want you to start doing work. Where do you start?
Yeah, you start with the onboarding. So you always have some sort of onboarding process.
So let's go past that. That you've already onboarded.
All right,
they already know. What
everyone
you're
knows what onboarding is.
Now,
everyone knows
the
50 things that go into onboarding.
That's right. Now you're doing the work.
You're always going to have ongoing work as a basis of probably any digital marketing campaign. There's always going to be content. Like there's just always going to be some form of content.
So it's day one after onboarding. We're starting this campaign for SEO on this company, this client. So you're saying you're starting with content.
Yeah, I mean once they've already we do like content 30, 60, 90s. So we're like, hey, we did like keyword analysis, competitive analysis.
All right, so really you started with competitive analysis.
Well, that was a part of the onboarding, right? But you wanted to skip that.
No. So when you do onboarding, you tell them these are the keywords you want to go after.
Well, what we do is we find like we align with what the keywords they perceive to be most important with the keywords that we did research on and actually have like monthly volume. So they're like, I want to be like Jim this location, and we're like, cool, that's corroborated by our data. Perfect. We will do that keyword.
So then you're actually showing them these are the keywords based on our research that you should be going after. These are the ones that you think you should be going after. Yeah. Here's the data.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So really, it's starting. So like what you're saying with onboarding is like keyword research, right?
Well, there's a lot to it besides that.
Well, let's go.
Well, you wanted to skip the whole thing.
I want to delve in. I don't
want to talk. I don't want to talk about a whole.
I don't know what
process.
your onboarding process is.
Well, I'll make it super quick.
Okay.
Onboarding process is just making sure we have all the information that we need. So do we have access to all their social media, access to their website, access to their hosting? Do we have like all the information that we need to get started? Like we ask them a little bit about like themselves. What's your competitive advantage? What makes you better than competitors? Is there any like language we can use in ads online that like differentiates you? So like what you do something like special. So if it's like a lawyer, there's nothing special because they all do the same thing. But like fitness is like, I would I just had to throw that out there real quick. But for them it's like, I won Ironman like 3 times. So it's like, whoa, cool. Like train with the dude that won Ironman 3 times. Like that's intense. I don't know. That might be like a good differentiator. Yeah. So we can use that for ad copy and we can use that for graphics and stuff. So once you have that like all line, then it's like I said, keyword, competitive analysis. Then we'll start ordering citations. We'll do like directory placements.
Okay.
We always.
You do that as a part of the onboarding process, or that's right after you order citations during the onboarding process?
Yeah, I mean it's the first like few weeks. Onboarding takes a few weeks.
It does. Okay.
The one thing that we will outsource no matter what, and I don't think that any person in a million years would ever complain, is we definitely order citations.
Yeah.
No one in their right mind wouldn't need anyone to manually do this.
Never do that ever.
No, no one ever would do that.
So I mean, even just using like
it's
like a software tool.
It's like Yext. I mean,
like signing up for something like Yext or like Moz Local if they're like just one place. Like
I mean, we have cheaper options.
Yeah. What do you use for your cheaper options?
I don't know actually. Ask. I haven't done it in a while. Like we use a service that's like great, and it's and it's interesting because it costs us like a couple $100 probably, and like the client will never know that we dropped like $200 of like their first month's SEO to do it.
Yeah.
But whatever.
But it's very important. Gets it done.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Okay. So you've done the keyword research, which you're not going to be outsourcing.
No, never.
None of that. So the first thing you start outsourcing is local SEO.
Oh, you outsource local SEO?
Well, for citation building, which is a part of local SEO, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you outsource the citations.
Yeah.
But like, dude, it's like 400 citations.
Yeah. So
it would take like someone on our team like days.
And it's relatively cost efficient.
It's extremely cost efficient,
especially from a time standpoint.
There's some things like I would tell a client, we're doing citations, we order it from a third party, they'd be like, cool.
Yes.
You just don't do it.
So then I would say after that, the next thing you're going to outsource is going to be content.
That's what you're going to do.
That's what I would do. And this is, obviously not a client we're designing anything for. It's just an SEO related client, unless it's like, ad based stuff with PPC or social.
Yeah, you'll outsource content. You'll probably outsource some graphic design.
Yeah, creative stuff.
Some creative. For sure. You'll never outsource the creation of a pay-per-click account or an ad.
Just do that yourself.
You would always do that.
You would never.
Yeah, because that's like the idea of it's even awkward.
And that's also a very quick way to lose a bunch of money and not get any results.
Well, those people are more specialized too, and they'll cost more money. And then you will outsource link building.
Well, I probably won't outsource link building because I have the ability to not outsource that.
Yeah. Okay.
But you could absolutely outsource. You would probably outsource link building if you didn't.
You could find a consultant that would assist with doing manual like fitness directories. So you have someone go out and be like, find me like at all the fitness directories that are out there that like exist. If there's like niche ones,
just build them all out,
and then they'll do it manually.
That's actually a really good idea too. Yeah,
You may as well. Like we have like a list of 100 legal directories.
Yeah.
But they have to be done manually. So.
Man, too bad you can't
design
software that.
That's what interns do.
You
might. I don't know. Could be a script.
Yeah. So
that's what that looks like.
Yeah.
A little bit. Of course, then Andrew's here too.
Oh yeah.
To help you do some of that stuff. I think that you should speak with clients though.
Andrew?
That I should?
Okay. Yeah, I think you should speak with the clients. And do
I think you should do all the reports.
I think that I can do that.
And look for opportunities. You should be the one doing the reports and looking for opportunities from the analytics and just stuff in general every month. So be like the opportunity dude.
Yeah.
I can't put that on a business card.
I think that you can.
Opportunity.
It's not that long.
When we build out the site, that'll be your title. Opportunity dude.
OD.
If you want a business card, I got a Moo card membership. We make that happen with opportunity dude.
That's fine. I said, if you want a business card, it's like just give them one card.
Here,
there it is.
Here you go.
And make sure you get it back.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that. Put it on a string. Just pull it back when they're all.
All right. So I think like between us, I can manage outsourcing like all that stuff and like the analysis. And then, but when it comes to, when that stuff comes back, so like say we outsource like all the content, you're not going to write any of that stuff. Just making sure, I don't know if like I will probably actually publish that stuff where it like needs to be published and do the actual like on page.
Who's going to give the feedback for the writer? So your writer, you're going to find great writers, of course, but they're not going to nail it the first time. So who's going to give them the feedback that they need?
Yeah. I can do that.
You want to do that? Okay.
Yeah,
that's actually very helpful. And then managing that. So the way it's always worked for me, like doing like in-house SEO with like teams, is that I would provide like the analysis, like this is what we want an article on, and then it's really simple to just have a template that you send out to a writer. Like I want an article on this. It needs to be this amount of like this word count. I generally don't even say like cover like these keywords in it, because like people will just like put a bunch of those keywords in an article.
Right.
To hit that word count, and it'll just be like kind of illegible. Is that the right way to say that? Illegible? No?
Illegible.
I don't think so. Yeah. It just won't be a really good article at all. So I just don't even really give them like additional keywords other than like the subject matter that I want like the topic to be written out. So we want to do that and then copyscape it and then just manage like that relationship with like those writers. And so that like I don't know if you want. So how I did it at like my current job, I created like one Upwork account. I would submit basically the outline of what I want the article written about. It would come back. Another person would like then review like that copy, manage like if we need to send it back to have that person like rewrite it, copyscape it, whatever, send it over to me, and then I would like publish it like live on our website and do like the last niche, like a little like SEO stuff that needed to be done to like the article. And so we could just actually copy that exact same format and do the same thing.
But yeah, I mean, I'll be able to share our processes.
Yeah, I don't know if you have a similar process.
They're pretty like, I guess, optimized.
Yeah.
At this point, like.
So do you do anything differently than that?
No, it's probably gonna look pretty similar.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, and depending on the level of content, like if it's going on an actual client site versus like something else out there,
right?
There's gonna be like a lot more scrutiny, so like
yeah,
if you are using a PBN, like.
I have a content process. I'll share it with you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think we've covered. Yeah, we're getting pretty deep there.
Oh my gosh, you're
time.
Boring people.
I know. We're gonna have to cut so much out of this.
No, you can leave it as is. We were talking about.
Just cut out every VPN word. I just need 8 seconds.
I might actually beep out that word. I don't want people to know about it if they don't know already.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They know about it.
They're gonna look it up and they say these guys are freaking snake oil sales.
Just go to Ungagged, actually. The new place I work, they have tickets to Ungagged. So
really?
They'll send us there for free. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Can I be like a consultant that I work 1 hour a month so then I could go?
Who knows?
I've been on Ungagged twice. It was pretty cool.
So, all right. So I think we've covered a lot of things that you're going to outsource, a lot of things that you need to outsource, stuff that you shouldn't outsource, and some pretty good resources to do that at.
Yeah, you should just take these accounts and then just sell them to another agency.
I was thinking about doing that.
And then don't tell me about it. Yeah, it's going great.
And then they like sell it to you, and then it's just like
a
never-ending circle.
Yeah, they're like, I thought that was Paul's client, and they said, oh, shoot.
Yeah. All right, so
cool.
I don't know if there's anything we should cover in this particular topic.
Yeah, any questions for us?
Yeah.
Honestly, not really.
You excited?
I'm very excited.
I'm actually really excited about this.
I mean, working with clients like this in this environment, it's like very unique situation.
It does seem like a very booming market too, which is kind of cool.
It does.
Fitness.
And also, this is a unique situation because we have someone giving them to us. Not necessarily giving, but like a steady stream.
I'm just getting no. I'm throwing them at you.
You're throwing them at us, not for free, but you're throwing them at us.
Yeah, you should see it. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come in. Yeah, it's crazy. Right.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this one. We really kind of strayed off topic a lot in this, and kind of because we're a little drunk. I mean, I'm a little drunk. Hopefully, these guys will be a little more drunk.
No, I'm just tired.
Doing some shots, hopefully.
Yeah, let's do some shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening. This has been another episode of SEO's Dead and Other Lies. This is Paul Warren.
This is Ryan Klein. Let me mention, if you have any questions based off this podcast we just had, feel free to email Paul at SEOisdeadandotherlies.org.
You did not purchase that?
Yeah, we did.
You did?
No.
No. I was going to say.
Just email it. It won't be received.
Mailer.
I guess I should mention that.
Actually, I think we are going to launch a website for this pretty soon. It's going to be SEOisDeadPodcast.com, which I...
Didn't we have a better name than that?
No.
SEO is dead. It wasn't like Sid... Forget it.
Yeah. We're going to go with that one.
Cut this part out. Now we're wasting people's time.
SEO is dead.
Keep listening. There's a special bonus at the end.
All right. And this was Andrew Hernandez.
This is Ryan Klein.
This is Paul Warren. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.